Hey there, Pokemon trainers. I'm Ash.
And I'm Nick.
And we're here today to do actually what we said we were going to do this time. Regionals just concluded yesterday in Indianapolis. Actually, a lot of really interesting decks came around through it. So what we're going to do is just kind of analyze the first 3 decks, and then we picked like a handful of 2 or 3 additional ones that we were just going to like look at, discuss.
Yeah.
Maybe build in the future.
Yeah, just some unique builds that popped out when we were looking at the top 64 lists. Well, of course, first and foremost, congratulations, Ian Robb, for winning the whole thing out of, I believe, 1,010 players.
It was well over 1,000. But Ian came in first with the deck of Arceus V-Star, Inteleon, and Galarian Bird Box, which is... I was predicting a Bird Box to come out on top, but just seeing it's always a nice little... a nice little feeling.
Yeah, when you said Bird Box was top 10, I was not surprised. That was kind of an expected result.
So looking at this deck list, of course it has Inteleon engine, 4 Sobbles, 3 Drizzles, 1 Quick Shooting, 1 Shady Dealings, 3 Arceus, 2 V-Star. What else am I seeing?
Let's blow it up a little bit.
What is it? Is that... ooh! And he actually has a Medicham V in it. That's what I was trying to figure out what it was. Medicham V, Zapdos V, then, of course, Moltres V, and then Baby Moltres, Manaphy, and Galarian Zigzagoon. So, pretty more or less standard for what we've seen with Bird Boxes. Unfortunately, Articuno has been more or less taken out at this point just because there's so many better ways to do it than with Articuno. But
yeah, definitely a stock Bird Box, although the Medicham V was kind of a little sprinkle of salt. Not salt, I should say, a little spice.
I don't know, if he did get any yoga loops off, that might be a little bit of salt there.
True. All right.
But yeah, no, pretty standard, but all the same, well-built deck. Congratulations, Ian. Yeah. It's unlikely he's going to see this, but still.
Still, phenomenal job. Congratulations. And I believe this means he gets an invite to the next event as well.
If he has enough points.
Okay, well, hopefully we'll be seeing him.
Yeah.
And then moving on to the second place list, we have Isaiah Braden, I believe was the name, with Arceus Bees.
Yes, bees have been another one that I've been hoping to see more of, just because Beedrill in of itself is a good card, especially with the format as it is right now. Double Turbo Energy is now running rampant in place of Mew, which also had its own special energy, so it's just like, it's not unexpected. One of the cards that I caught my eye on the deck list, and I think it was in one or other 2 deck lists we looked at, Dunsparce. Something that I completely overlooked in Fusion Strike and had to check what this card did. It has a nice little ability of any colorless Pokemon you or your opponent have no weakness. So something really good to run with Arceus.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, pretty much again for Arceus 3 V-Star, a little bit of the Inteleon engine going, and then of course 2 Beedrills. I wanted to make a pun, but I didn't have anything.
Yeah, at least it's 2 Beedrill, otherwise you'd have to be playing Arceus V and B. It just doesn't sound as good.
Boo. He beat me to the bun.
Yep. And then, unfortunately, we do not have a deck list for third place, which was Andrew Estrada, although he was playing a Mew VMAX, so we can likely guess what we saw in that one.
Mew VMAX, Genesect V, Oricorio, Meloetta.
Yeah.
Wash, rinse, repeat.
Yeah.
It's pretty simple deck, but overall it's simple, but it's good and always performs well. Always makes me happy to see it lower on the rankings. Not to say I just personally don't care for the deck myself. That's just a me thing. But you know, it's a good deck, and it does as long as
it's hated for a reason. It's a good, consistent deck. And I mean, the third place finish is nothing to scoff at.
Oh, absolutely.
Then kind of moving into some of the more fun lists that we saw in the top 64. I believe he came in 17th place. Kevin Oh, no, I'm sorry. First, we're going to do 12th place. It was Riley Hulbert. Herbert. With Whimsicott V-Star.
And this was a deck we also saw in, what was it? The European Championship as well. That kind of made me stop because I'm just like, Whimsicott V? That's, I mean, it's a card.
Mm-hmm.
Looking into it though, it definitely does have a PowerPoint at strong suit, and especially when you're playing the Celebrations Zacian V with it, to keep getting those psychic energy that you need, and just make sure all your Pokemon are stocked up with energy. They can put out some pretty terrifying damage pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm.
But
for the rest of the list is very stock standard, kind of what you see out of the decks. Path of the Peaks, fan of Waves. What is that? Ultra Balls. I'm sorry. Fog. Very straightforward.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the fun stuff's in the Pokemon that this one was running. Now we're getting into 17th place with Kevin Kruger. He had Corviknight VMAX,
which is another big one that we were not expecting to see. You were the one that picked this, though.
Well, I was just excited to see something slightly different. I think you had messaged me back when he ended up having a stream game like Corviknight V in the top 64. I'm like, I'm sorry, what?
But yeah, no, Corviknight is a pretty nice steel hitter. It's not so much taking the place of Zacian V when it ruled in base set, but it's no joke.
Yeah.
With it being steel type, the weakness is a little harder to get because I believe that one in particular is grass weakness.
I do think so, yes. I'm trying to get a better look at the image to see what weakness that is. Fortunately, is a little blurry.
Yeah. And then, of course, my boy Crobat V and VMAX. I was also happy to see V and VMAX being used a lot throughout this. I just love seeing Crobat, man.
Yeah, not fair. Totally fair. Yeah. Good card, good Pokemon.
And then, of course, nice little utility Pokemon, Galarian Zigzagoon again, to just get some extra damage out. And Pumpkaboo, one that we saw a little bit when it was first released, then just kind of disappeared. Looks like it's making a resurgence. When you play it from your hand onto the bench, discard a stadium. So, just nice little stadium removal if you need it. If you get yourself in the unfortunate spot of Path to the Peaks on Mew.
True. Or, I mean, he's also playing Path to the Peaks, so where if he needs to, quickly scrap his own, that's a nice way of taking care of that problem. You can't forget, he's also got the Bibarels.
Of course. I think every deck we've looked at so far has had the Bibarel engine at this point.
Yeah.
All right. And then number 18. I know I managed to catch a few of her games while I was watching. I unfortunately didn't get to watch a whole bunch. But Piper Lapine. Lapine? I might have pronounced that wrong. I apologize. She was playing, what was it? Galarian Moltres Malamar. Again, Malamar was one of the ones I was hoping would be good. It sounded hilarious just because you can look at your opponent's hand and then pick one of those cards, put it at the bottom. Nice way to handle if you think your opponent has a response. Just put it back. Put it back. It's just it's not a heavy hitter by any means. You'd probably use Moltres over Malamar for the big hits, but.
I mean, Malmar's giving you that little bit of disruption. It can help out, and in some cases, get her to 18th place, likely, with being able to snipe the answers. Or if your opponent makes the mistake of searching for something and then not playing it, well, we're just going to put that right back in.
Yep.
Moving past that, we have Grant Manley, who, let me see what place he ended up in real fast.
23.
23rd, thank you. Grant Manley at 23rd with...
He was running Hoopa Arceus.
Yes. I mean, I picked this entirely because I've not seen any Hoopa decks yet.
And I've seen a few Hoopa scattered here and there. Actually, Piper was running one as well. Okay. And then if you looked at her comments, she's just like, yeah, Hoopa was a horrible choice.
Oh, I'm sorry, Hoopa. I wanted to like you.
But yeah, no. Again, Dunsparce is back with the Mysterious Nest. again, a great card to run with the Arceus.
Mm-hmm.
You got your Inteleon engine, of course, Manaphy for the bench protection. Just yeah, nothing bad. Just
And then finally, and actually, no, we got 2 more. I'm sorry. Got Victor running with Urshifu Sylveon, which I picked it obviously because of Sylveon, but I think this is also one of the only lists that I saw in the top 64 that was running Urshifu.
You might be right on that. Unlike the European competition, which held a lot of Rapid Striker Shifu, it was not that popular here. Most people going instead for Galarian Moltres, it seems.
Yeah.
No Arceus to be found in this deck, which is kind of surprising. But overall, not a bad deck. Can't take too much advantage of Sylveon's attack, just because you don't have a whole lot of variety in your team. But, I mean, you do have enough variety to get the full bench of different types.
A lot of like one of one of Snorlax, one of so little difficult, but it's possible.
And I do have to say, I love that little V-Star token they have. That's a little chancy.
Very good.
And then next is
finally we finish it out. 2 more.
Oh.
Still, wow, these tabs really like collapsing themselves.
We know how to count.
Yeah.
All right. So next, it looks like it was another Crobat VMAX. I picked that one because it was Crobat VMAX, so I can't talk too much. Again, like I was saying, Crobat VMAX has shown up a lot, especially in the top rankings. Like, I would go through the list, and it would just be few normal Arceus, and then Arceus Crobat, yada yada yada, Arceus Crobat. And it's like, okay, I'm again certainly not complaining. Crobat VMAX definitely has capability to have some fun, but it's mostly just to get the base damage down, and then likely switch over to the Arceus to finish things off.
Yeah, definitely Arceus making the most of its $30-some-odd price tag. Showing up in more or less every single deck we've talked about. And then now rounding us out, we have Christian Fontenet with...
Malamar.
Yeah, there we go. I just think I was like, which one's out? This is the Malamar deck that I liked.
Malamar was... Rapid Strike Malamar has always been one of my favorites because it's just a cheap, simple deck to build. And it's just really funny, in my opinion. You're just cycling cards back into your deck or drawing them again. But I love Malamar.
Yeah. It's a fun. It just show some cards, hit your opponent, put those cards back, do it all over again. Round and round the Malamar goes until your opponent loses.
Or in the unfortunate case you lose, but
it's still again top 64.
Top 64. No Vs or VMAX to be seen. So, of course, that always gets a nice little kudos in my book.
Yeah, that is an accomplishment in of itself, running into 63 odd decks of V and V Max or in V Star,
or just in the sheer amount of games they had to play.
Yeah.
What they had to do 16 matches day 1 and then another 10 day 2, I think.
Yeah, 9-3-3 overall finish. So, yeah, 15 games total across 2 days.
So likely.
Probably
29, or not 29. Well, 14, at least 14 V decks.
Yep.
Likely. But yeah. Again, kudos to everyone that played, everyone that did well. Even if he didn't do well, kudos for going.
Yeah.
Again, we couldn't go because we had a lot going on. But, there's always next time.
Yep.
We've got Astral Radiance right around the corner now. We're likely to see another shift in the meta, and I'm kind of curious, especially we're either going to see a lot more Dunsparces, or maybe see other ways to handle Machamp. Like, I'm going to hold on to my prediction until it says otherwise, that Machamp it may disrupt the meta. But I'm going to keep hoping.
You heard it here first, by Machamp.
Again, I'm getting like a playset as soon as I can.
Oh yeah, same. That's absolute deck, but I think that finishes up for today. We saw to see. I lost kind of how many decks.
9, I think.
9 decks. Okay, that sounds about right.
8 or 9.
Yeah, around here. Definitely probably going to end up building the Malamar because that just looks like fun, and might have to also see if I have enough pieces to do that Sylveon deck that I saw earlier as well, because that just seems like another nice twist on my old Sylveon build that I currently have going.
I mean, we don't change too much if we want to do that, so.
Yeah, definitely. At least I saw a couple of decks that I'm at minimum interested to try out, see how I like them. You got it? Closing thoughts?
No, honestly, I'm gonna start playing Malamar more because that again, that just looks like it's fun, and always glad to see my Crobat.
Yep. Oh,
those are my only thoughts.
That finishes us out for this episode.
As always, I'm Ash.
I'm Nick,
and we'll catch you next time.